Welcome to this explainer. Imagine trying to fly a supersonic jet using the dashboard of a 1990s Honda Civic. Crazy, right? Well, that is exactly what modern businesses are doing with AI right now. Today, we're tackling a fundamental shift in the business world, looking at how artificial intelligence literally requires a complete overhaul in how enterprises learn and operate. The source material we're diving into introduces the Digital Value Management System, or DVMS, as the much-needed upgrade to a continuous learning architecture. So, let's dive right in.
Let's start with a massive reality check. You know the core issue keeping executives awake at night? It's actually not the sheer complexity of the technology itself. Rather, it's the relentless, accelerating speed at which digital ecosystems are changing. Traditional business models were built for environments where change happened incrementally, and systems remained pretty predictable. But today, that accelerating pace of change is pushing those traditional static models to their absolute breaking point. To understand why these traditional models are breaking down, we really have to look at the environment. So, let's get into Section 1, the new AI reality. Think about it. Modern organizations aren't just businesses anymore. They're living ecosystems. You have autonomous systems making decisions, real-time analytics processing millions of data points, and sprawling cloud infrastructures tied directly into physical environments. Because conditions across all these areas shift in milliseconds, the enterprise can no longer be a rigid structure. It absolutely must become a dynamic, continuous learning organism, capable of sensing, understanding, and adapting completely on the fly. And this massive operational shift completely breaks the old way of doing things, bringing us to Section 2, the end of static. Think of traditional governance models like a physical, printed map. They're static, relying on periodic updates and annual training. The AI-driven reality, on the other hand, is like a live GPS. It's constantly updating based on traffic, changing risks, and operational telemetry. Managing a live GPS reality with a printed map is just a recipe for disaster. Static governance frameworks simply cannot keep up with an AI system that learns and evolves autonomously. Which begs the ultimate question, doesn't it? How do you actually govern an ecosystem that changes in real time? If you drop the retrospective audits, the static continuity plans, and those once-a-year compliance checks, what replaces them to sustain trust and resilience? How do we actually fix this gap? Well, the answer requires a total paradigm shift. Let's look at Section 3. Enter the DVMS architecture. So what is the Digital Value Management System, or DVMS? It's a unified governance engine. Think of operational telemetry as the central nervous system of your business. It takes all the raw, fragmented pain and pleasure signals from your security and cloud systems and transforms them into intelligent, actionable reflexes. It solves the massive problem of disconnected systems by turning raw, isolated data into real, evidence-driven insight. This architecture essentially builds a continuous learning loop, and it does this in 3 distinct steps. First, it constantly correlates that raw operational telemetry. Second, it uses that data to spot governance gaps and vulnerabilities way before they become disasters. And third, it dynamically triggers contextual interventions based on that live evidence. It's kind of like an autoimmune system for your enterprise, preemptively addressing vulnerabilities before they escalate into disruptive events. Now let's apply this powerful engine to something that affects absolutely everyone. Moving to Section 4, adaptive workforce learning. We all know traditional training, right? It usually means sitting through a generic, pretty boring annual compliance video. DVMS throws that completely out the window. Instead, it looks for real operational triggers, like someone repeatedly misconfiguring cloud security, maybe some coordination weaknesses, real-time governance violations, or even an AI making inconsistent decisions. When these things happen, DVMS launches a highly targeted learning module directly to that specific user, right in the exact moment of risk. So why does this matter to you? Well, because training completely stops being this annoying administrative chore that your team just clicks through while drinking their morning coffee. It transforms into a live response to your company's actual conditions. Workforce development becomes operationally integrated and evidence-driven. Your team is literally learning directly from the enterprise's own behavior. But this system goes way beyond just training. Let's explore Section 5, continuous organizational resilience. If you compare the old world to the new, the difference is night and day. Reactive recovery relies on dusty old continuity plans to hopefully bounce back after a disaster strikes. Continuous evolution, however, means learning from every single disruption, simulation, and operational stressor. The difference is huge. You aren't just surviving a hit, you're using operational telemetry to build stronger armor for the next one, ensuring your resilience capability is continuously advancing.
Bringing all of this together fundamentally changes how we lead, which brings us to Section 6, Governance as Continuous Learning. Because AI systems make autonomous decisions and are literally evolving all the time, your governance simply cannot afford to wait for a quarterly audit. Enterprises must continuously validate AI behaviors and adapt their oversight based on hard operational evidence. Through DVMS, governance itself stops being a police force relying on static assumptions and becomes a continuous learning system governed by real-time operational reality.
And this brings us to the ultimate takeaway. The enterprises that succeed will not simply be the most automated. They will be the organizations most capable of learning continuously from operational reality. It's really not just about having the best AI or the most automation. The winner in the AI era is the fastest, most adaptable learner, supported by a foundational engine to make sense of all the noise. We want to leave you with a really vital question to consider about your own organization. Is your enterprise simply operating, or is it continuously learning? It's truly the defining question of the AI era. We highly encourage you to explore how a system like DVMS can bridge the gap from a static past to a dynamic future. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. Keep learning, and we'll see you next time.